So the whole country, and maybe the whole world, were shocked by the shooting last week in Pittsburgh. As a professional religious, it is my job to keep up on what people are saying in periodicals and newspapers and blogs and all sorts. I read lots of stuff. Some of my homilies come from things that you read in, good articles, whatever. And among all the things I read, the one really caught my attention. The guy said, who do you in an op-ed piece, who do you think was the person who hated the Jews the most in history? And I'm thinking, well, he's going to say Hitler. And he said, Jesus. And he went on to count how many times in the scriptures Jesus said to the Jews, you snakes. And of course, they're always fighting. Really, if you go through the Gospels, Jesus and the Jews are fighting all the time. Now, what the man should have said is, Jesus disliked what had become of Judaism, a warped version of what Judaism was at the beginning. And as time went on, and this can happen, it became very complicated. With like one rule, there was 365 rules in the Old Testament, one for every day of the year. You'd have to be very smart to memorize them. You'd have to be very holy to practice them. But that's what had become of Judaism. And Jesus did not like that. That would be true. What happened. And this is the only guy in the New Testament that Jesus says, this guy understands it. It's really not that complicated. Just love God and love neighbor. The rest of the stuff will take care of itself. This guy got it. Just, the other so-called Pharisees and Sadducees, they were off track. And those people Jesus did not like. That would have been true. Can the same be true for us? Can the same be said for us? If I could bring you over the Code of Canon Law, the church's law book, it's that thick. We have lots of rules. And the funny thing is, the better Catholic you are, and you guys are probably the best people I have, the more you worry about those minute details that aren't that important. To be honest with you, this is what we hear all the time, especially in confession. Well, Father, I was trying to say the rosary, but I know I skipped one in the third deck. I only got 49. Does it still count? Or I forgot that was a holy day because when a holy day falls on a Monday, I didn't think it was a holy day. I forgot to read the bulletin, Or I was supposed to fast for an hour before I received communion. It was only 55 minutes because I got out of bed late, so it was only 55 minutes. I committed a terrible sin. That's all you hear from you, the better Catholic, who almost borders on scrupulous about little details. So let me just give you 3 points that a good Catholic should do. Simplify, identify, and magnify. Simplify your worries. Do you really think God, well, I forgot to say I sinned 3 times. I said I only sinned, I lied twice. Do you really think he stands up there counting how many times you said that? That's not God. I don't know what that is, but that ain't God. Please don't worry about the little things. Worry about the intention in your heart. Did you try to say the rosary right? Did you try to get to every day of the novena? Did you, what's in here? Simplify it. 2, identify what things in your religion work well for you. We're all Catholic here, I assume. It's taken me a long time to appreciate that one of the things that works best for us is how the church over the course of time has a beautiful rhythm. In 2 weeks, you're going to start hearing about the end of the world. And it's kind of scary. It reflects the cold weather outside. Those readings get cold. Then we get the anticipation of Advent, which keeps us grounded as we start seeing Christmas decorations up already. And then we get the joy of Christmas, then the dead of winter, then the penance of Lent, the joy of Easter. I've learned as I've gotten older, as there's a rhythm in my life, the up and down every day, that there's a rhythm in the church's prayer. Maybe you don't appreciate that. But identify the things that work. Simplify the things that distract you from how holy you probably are, how well you do pray. Simplify. Identify what works. But most tellingly, magnify where you are weak. And that's why we have Lent. To bring it to the issue at hand with the anti-Semitism, racial hatred that seems to always divide our country, I'd encourage you every night to take a magnifying glass and look honestly at yourself. Where is that hatred in you? Where is the tension? I don't like that person because of this. Because they're black and I'm white. Because they speak Spanish and I speak English. Because they're Jewish and I'm Christian. And that takes honesty to look deeply at yourself and say, I have to address that. Well, I could be the shooter. And that's hard to be honest with yourself and look with the magnifying glass. This was made famous, and the kids know this. The movie is called Remember the Titans, a classic sports movie. A school had integrated black kids and white kids together on the same team, and it's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to do, to force people to get together with people who they didn't work with before, and now they're on the same team. And the white kid, who's a very good player, wants to go over to hang out with his friend who's a black player. And his mother says to him, if your father was alive, you wouldn't think about doing this. What you're doing to our family, hanging around with black kids. And then she says famously, now let's get to church. Now if you don't watch the movie too often, you might miss that. She thinks she's holy, but she hates the kid because he's a different color. And she thinks she's holy. Could we look deeply, magnify, look at it and say, do I have the same problem? Am I no better? There's where you want to work and grow. Simplify, identify, and magnify. It's really not that complicated. Love God and neighbor. Go do it today. Let us stand, my friends, and we'll profess our